I am in Lexington, Kentucky at the Parkette Drive-In. I went here last year. This is a really awesome old school diner and restaurant. I highly recommend if you're in Lexington that you come here. Today I'm going to be doing a little exploration, not spending too much time in Lexington, but of course I wanted to stop here while I was here. So first let's go check this place out. Now the highlight is this gigantic neon sign out front. That is so cool. The place opened in the 1950s. It's still one of the most retro restaurants that I have been to. I do like to search these out on my travels, but I think that neon sign has also been here since the 50s. Out front they have a lot of really vintage drive-in machines, and then you can also eat in, which I recommend because the inside is really cool. That's the indoor counter seating, and there's also some booths. Seriously, it cannot get more retro than this. Also, I do want to mention the staff is always very friendly here. There's a jukebox. A vintage Burger Time arcade game. This game debuted in 1982. The back garage area also has some really cool theming. And the food is great. Again, I highly recommend this place. I'm also doing a college visit to Transylvania University, founded as a medical school in 1780, and is home to the Moose Nick Medical Museum, which is very interesting, and I have a video on that. Old Morrison here is a National Historic Landmark. And this wall here is actually a tomb. It was believed to be a tomb of a professor who cursed the school, but it turns out it's actually a little girl entombed in there. You can see the skyscraper of Lexington from the steps of Old Morrison. Right across from campus is historic Gratz Park, home to the James Lane Allen Fountain. This memorial to the author depicts nude children. That is Hopemont, the Hunt Morgan House, which is a museum, and I have a separate video on that. And that video also provides a more in-depth tour of the Gratz Park neighborhood. Lots of history here. Alright, before I head out of Lexington, I wanted to see this marker. This is the site of the birthplace of David Rice Atchison, the president for a day. You can see he graduated from Transylvania, and he moved to Missouri, and then he was a senator from there, and he became president pro tempore of the Senate. When James K. Polk's term expired in 1849, Zachary Taylor refused to be sworn in on a Sunday, so although he technically assumed the executive powers, he was not officially sworn in. So as he was president pro tempore of the Senate at the time, that was the next in succession after the vice president. So he became president for a day. So depending on who you count has been president, there's a few different people. Like there's a debate on who was the first president. But he could be considered the 12th president of the United States, and he was born in this area. Alright, I'm now in Nicholasville, Kentucky. I was planning on going in here. This is the Lockmaster Security Institute. They have the Museum of Physical Security inside, the largest collection of locks in the world. This was started by master locksmith Harry Miller. He has an interesting story. But I wanted to see the locks, but it appears to be closed. Well, you can see the collection of locks in there, but it appears to be closed or maybe abandoned. I can't get in anywhere. There's no one in there. Lights are on. Not really sure what's going on here. Yeah, it definitely seems like it's gone defunct. I'm not sure what's going on with this place, but it appears the Lockmaster Institute is locked up. Alright, now in Simpsonville, Kentucky, outside of Purnell's Sausage. And here they have a roadside wonder, the world's largest roll of sausage. So apparently Purnell's sausage is good. It's the whole hog. There's a whole hog in that thing. That's pretty epic. Also here in Simpsonville is Civil War history. It's the site of a horrible massacre. On January 25th of 1865, the colored cavalry was attacked by Confederate guerrillas, and 22 of the men were killed, and at least 8 were severely wounded. They were based at Camp Nelson, which I've been to and have a video on. They were almost all former slaves and fought at Saltville, Virginia. And this is their graves right here. So apparently after the massacre, the bodies were just lined up and buried here. All the markers say colored cavalry. These were all brave black men, many of whom escaped slavery and were just murdered. You can see the line of 22 graves of many former slaves who were fighting for the recognition of their rights and freedom and for the Union. Wow. Alright, I'm now in Long Run, Kentucky, at the Long Run Cemetery, and I stand on historic ground, and I'll show you why. So this is a very old pioneer cemetery. Doesn't look like there's been any burials in about 100 years or so. A lot of pioneer, usually family cemeteries, would build these big walls to lay out their plots. There doesn't appear to be any stones within the stone wall here. It's very old and crumbling. Now the main reason I've come to this cemetery is because Captain Abraham Lincoln, who was the father of Thomas Lincoln, who is father of the President Abraham Lincoln, was here prospecting for a farm. Now their actual farm, from my understanding, was in Springfield, Kentucky, present-day Springfield, Kentucky. I've been there. That's Lincoln Homestead State Park. But while he was here making preparations, he was with his sons, Thomas and Mordecai. Some Native Americans snuck up and killed him. And this is his grave near the site where he was murdered. Now those Native Americans who killed him, as Thomas Lincoln watched, they were planning on killing the 2 children as well, but luckily Mordecai Lincoln, who was Abraham Lincoln, the President Abraham Lincoln's uncle, was able to get a gun and get them away, saving Thomas Lincoln's life. And if they would have been able to kill Thomas Lincoln here, then there would have never been a President Abraham Lincoln. So a very pivotal moment happened here. And you can see the stone is probably much newer. People still come out, pay tribute. I guess the original name was Linkhorn. It was changed to Lincoln, and it says they're paternal grandfather of Abraham Lincoln. Pretty interesting. Also, I've been to most of the Lincoln family graves and like people related to the president. I've been to both his parents, his step-parents, his children, Mary Todd Lincoln, Mary Todd Lincoln's parents and family, and now Captain Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to 2 generations up now. And I too will leave a penny for Captain Abraham Lincoln. Penny depicting the face of his grandson, who we never got to know. And I guess the cemetery formed around the grave of Captain Lincoln, where he was killed. So after he was murdered, the family didn't have any use for this land, so it was purchased by this guy, Benjamin Bridges, another Revolutionary War veteran, for $400. This is the handmade stone of James Holston, who died in 1835 but was born in 1739. He was 95 years old, the oldest man buried in the cemetery. Here you can see some more family plot walls. Thomas Sturgeon here was a Revolutionary War veteran. You can see the official Federal Standard Revolutionary War veteran marker behind the original. Ednam Gregg here was born a slave but became a member of the Long Run Baptist Church, which Bridges formed here after he had purchased the land. When he died in 1923, he was the last black member of the congregation, except they used the no word there. So this cemetery is out in the middle of nowhere, but believe it or not, this cemetery has a second presidential connection. Warfield Young here was the great uncle of Harry S. Truman. There's an old iron gate around this grave that's fallen apart. Here's another Revolutionary War veteran, Virginia militia, just like my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. This marker's torn up a bit, but another Revolutionary War veteran. Well, this is pretty neat. It looks like someone brought a sapling from a historic tree in Albion, Illinois, under which Abraham Lincoln delivered a speech for the campaign of President William Henry Harrison. So saw some pretty neat stuff today. If you like videos like this, like explorations of all sorts of random places, whatever I threw into this video, then please go check out my other videos where I do the same thing. And thanks for watching.